3-section carbon fiber, and it's a tripod's just going to hold a ball head, and for me, the BH55 is the best ball head I've ever owned. There may be better, but this one, you know, in what I shoot in sand and salt water all the time, is very impressive. It's kind of hard to move. You set this right here for tension on it based on the camera that you're using, and of course this is to spin it. I always use the spikes on this. A lot of times I'm actually in the ocean shooting, and I just believe that this helps to keep the camera a little bit more stable.
How has it handled being in the dirt and sand and salt?
I've every once in a while you take them apart and clean them. It's really easy to do. You just unscrew this all the way out, and the leg will pop out, and you just I just clean it into my sink under running water, dry it off real good, and just put a very, very light coat of lithium grease. This one was in the ocean yesterday, quite a bit, and as you can see, it's fine.
Do they stay the same lock? I mean, when you're pushing them down into the sand, I found that I was pushing the legs back in.
Well, these ones here, you can't push this in. Once you lock these, there's no way. You can try it yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, here, I'll hang on to it for you. I mean, you know, I imagine if I put brute force on it this way here, you know, no, I can't push them down.
Because you have to get it stuck down into the sand pretty good, so it doesn't start to move halfway through the shots.
And I'm usually low in the water, Scott, so when you know, I don't need the tallest tripod for the ocean shots. I have a taller one, but this is the one I mostly use, and I'm actually just down to 2 sections here. And as you know, if you've been in the water, a few waves in, everything starts sinking into the sand, and you know, so it's going to get even shorter. And so when I'm out there shooting shots, I'm typically like this, and after a few waves, it's sunk down to what I call the high water mark. And because I'm sometimes leaning over looking into the viewfinder, I don't see the waves coming in. I feel the water coming up, and when it hits the high water mark, that's when I go like this, because I know my camera's going to get soaked if I don't. But I swear by these. I swear by really light stuff.
So if we want to get really low shots, that I typically want to get some really low shots, how does that work?
Well, this guy here will pop down to nothing.
Okay.
Give me just a second and I'll show you. Just pop these cams in.
All right.
It's got steps on the side here. I don't know if you can see that.
Just 2 steps?
Yeah, just 2 steps.
Okay.
You know. And then you're on the ground.
Let's see. Well, that's pretty darn low.
I'll show you another thing I got from them that you will like.
Okay.
This one also accepts that ball head. I really like this little tripod. Again,
I found that both of my ball heads are stuck onto my respective tripods, my 2 previous tripods.
They can probably get it off for you if you need be. See the little rubber mounts that keep the legs from crashing into each other? Well, those are also your bumpers. This one lays completely flat. This is the lowest tripod I have. It'll put it right on the ground. So together with something like this, you know, of course the ball head will raise your camera that much up, but you're still very low to the ground. With the Cam Ranger, you got a winning combination because you don't have to be laying on the ground all the time.
Okay.
Another cool feature about this little guy.
So taking off that ball head isn't going to, it's not too much of a pain?
No, it comes right off.
Okay.
You know, with a little brute force, but it'll come off. They don't stick on there. This guy's kind of cool. It's got steps too. Okay. 3 steps, just like what the other one has. I loosen this guy up here, and that's all the extension.
So you're shooting it, you're taking it with you when you do the beach stuff as well? Just
Sometimes
in case?
I do, yeah, just depending. If it's a location I know about quite well, I actually use this a lot for macro stuff. And it's kind of nice because sometimes doing macro stuff, I'll actually be inside my house, and I can just push this little button, take this out, flip this over, and now I've got rubber feet.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
It's a nice little setup. It really is.
So do you have to keep your rubber feet handy when you're doing stuff with that?
I have them, but that's like that's my ocean.
You're never indoors?
Not with this, no.
Okay.
Never.
So
I have the rubber feet for it.
Yeah. So it's continued to work even after how long?
I got this one close to a year ago.
After a year ago and some pretty consistent beach wear.
Absolutely, and I've only cleaned it one time because it gets to a point where it's too hard to pull the legs apart.
Okay.
Because they're just packed with sand. And I just, like I said, I unscrew those thumb wheels all the way. The entire leg will come out with 2 little guide pieces to help. This tripod is another big selling point for me was that I just grab both of these at the same time, spin them, and the whole leg extends instantly. And it doesn't turn because it has these little guides.
You like the 2 section?
Yeah, this one here I use a lot because it doesn't weigh nothing.
Okay.
And, you know, the more sections you got,
The more it weighs.
the more it is, you know. But I do have their 4 section, their big monster with a gimbal mount on it, because if you want to take pictures of like the moon and stuff like that, you want a tall tripod. Here,
Okay.
see what you think.
Yeah, it's about the same as mine, and I'm guessing most of that weight is
Ball head.
the ball head, and obviously steady. How is the vibration when you're shooting?
This is fantastic. I can get rock solid pictures. If it's windy at all, of course. I mean, having the spikes on there and driving the tripod into the ground
Yeah.
is a huge win. But sometimes I've got 6x6 filters in the front,
Yeah.
and the wind coming up off the ocean is gonna, you know, it's basically a sail. So that's when I'll hang my bag off of the hook that it comes with. There's a hook right here.
The hook's a little hard access, huh?
Yeah, it's hard to access. It's up there, but you can get extensions for it, but why would you do that? Because that'll make it so you can't get all the way on the ground once you got that stuff hanging up there. Let me see what it's like to take this off. I know I got to put this real tight. There it is.
Okay.
Just one good snug and it comes right off every time. See, and you talk about light. Feel this. That's nothing.
Oh yeah, that's
Doesn't weigh anything.
much lighter. So they're almost the same weight.
But
It's a
quality
little.
construction, American-made product is going to come with a price. You know that. It's
Yeah.
not a cheap tripod. But, you know, I look at it like this. Most people will spend $1,500 on tripods in their first few years of photography trying to find the right tripod. That have been cheaper just to buy this setup right here to begin with because they'd still be using this tripod.
Yeah. Very nice. Well, thanks for talking about it. The models were again on the
This
tripod.
one happens to, I think this is called the 33S
Okay.
with the BH55 ball head on the top.
All right.
I recommend you go there. You're not far from San Luis Obispo right now. They always like it when people stop by to say hi.
All right.
And they got a product showroom. You can try all their stuff. Make sure you say hi to Mark and Jim when you're there.
Sounds good. Thanks. Have a good day.